What's up, Bodyweight Warriors, and welcome back to another video, another vlog. And today I'm going to talk about what Molly and I... Molly, come here. Hello, yes, hello. I want to talk to you about what Molly and I have in common, because Molly has tripled her body weight in the past like 5 weeks. She has been on the bulk hard, making gains, making progress. I too am going to go on the bulk. The plan is to actually gain about the amount that she's gained in the past 3 or 4 weeks, which is about 3 kilos, and the deadline for that is kind of beginning of January. Now, in the past, I've not been particularly great when it comes to this whole like bulking, cutting cycles, just because I kind of can't be arsed of it all. Like, I'm just happy eating consistent, good food, and not having to worry too much about calories and all that sort of stuff. But that has definitely meant that I haven't necessarily reached the limit that I could get to when it comes to muscle mass. Like, I'm still just kind of a bit skinny, which isn't necessarily a bad thing at the end of the day, because I've never been particularly bothered about getting as big as possible, because if I was, I would just take steroids. But let's be honest, we all like to kind of look good, and I would like to go down that avenue a little bit further. Plus, there is definitely a good amount of evidence that eating more calories is beneficial for making training progress. And I do believe that's part of the issue with the injuries that I had at the beginning of this year were down to actually just like still training quite hard, still doing a reasonable amount of volume, but it's insufficient calorie intake, which definitely was the case. You know, when I get busy, focusing on the things that are important there and then, and you know, I was still eating good food, I just wasn't eating very much of it. So the best way to deal with that and to alleviate that issue is to prep. This has been my my rough go-to, because probably the thing that I lack the most when it comes to muscle mass is carbs. I'm just inherently more on the lower carb side. I think if you watch any of the prior day of eatings, it's just what I feel best doing, and it makes it really easy for me to maintain a pretty reasonable level of body composition year round without thinking about it. But when it comes to mass gain, carbs are kind of useful. So I generally make this tray of like roasted veg every like 3 days. It's super tasty and it goes with anything. It's kind of like a nice pick and mix style of meal prep, because I can just take a portion of that and then cook whatever I'm gonna cook, and it will go nicely with it. It also gives me a serving of around 80 grams of carbs, which is, you know, better than zero, but also because I'm gonna be eating a lot more later on in the day after training, it's good for the old bulking, gaining weight sort of thing. But yeah, that's kind of roughly the plan. Still eating 2 meals a day, hence the kind of size of this portion, but I think according to this, I quickly added it up. Again, I don't usually count calories, but about 1,200 calories or so. So that is kind of the plan, 3 kilos in 10 weeks. And at the moment, I'm 89 kilos, and it's probably worth establishing a few things. I'm gonna do a couple of physique shots as well. I'm gonna do front relaxed, back relaxed, front flexed, back flexed. And then I'm also gonna do some measurements for quads, arms, waist, and chest as well. And I'll give a nice impression as to like where the weight was gained. Otherwise, things can just be a bit random. I always find the hardest thing with these before and after shots as well is you can really manipulate it with lighting. So I'm filming this at the moment at about 1 PM outside, natural, straight sunlight. I'm gonna try and do like the same lighting situations for both the before and the after. So it's as fair as possible. Alright, so the only thing I have as well for this is a dog lead, but it's gonna have to do. It's hard to do measurements on yourself. Basically the entire dog lead. 105 centimeters for the chest measurement. So some very simple measurements for those who happen to care about this. We just did the chest one, so the chest is like right up around the armpit, pull it up nice and tight all the way around. To measure circumference, waist. We're gonna do around belly button line, relaxed obviously, we don't want to be cheating here. Put it somewhat tight, you want to be consistent with these. So 105 chest, 85 waist. We'll do arms next because arms are fun. No! No! I'm just gonna do relaxed underneath just the like lateral delt, and then I'll also do flexed just because why not. 37 centimeters relaxed. That's the left arm as well. Let's do the right. 36 on the right. 38 flexed on the arm. It's kind of weird, my flex and not flex is about the same. Right. 39 on the right, it's more like it. Right, for the thigh, so I get a consistent place, I'm going to go halfway between the ASIS, so that like bony providence on the front of the hip, and the kneecap. And then I'm going to use that point each time. By the way, this is definitely not the most accurate way of doing this. Right leg is 61 or 24 inches. Left leg is 61.5 centimeters. That's kind of it for the measurements, and apparently it's decided to start raining. Right, so going to go sideways for this one. A little physique shot. Obviously, no pump, no nothing. Raw, so we'll do front, relaxed. Do a little flex. We do a front. Do back. I'm not a big fan of doing physique shots, I'm just not very good at posing, but it's honest. Overcast, middle of the day, we can replicate this. I guess really the only thing missing from this is like a body fat percentage check, but I don't have calipers. If you want to see me get some like professional measurements done, then let me know, but I think it's just probably a little bit overkill. Some basic measurements, some basic shots in consistent conditions is more than enough, as well as obviously the scales, to tell you if you're moving in the right direction. Also, whilst I am freezing my balls out here in November, because it is November, you may be able to see from this pitiful attempt at a mustache that is beginning on my face, it is Movember as well, and it's something that I've supported for the last 2 years. Something I feel strongly about is supporting other men with their mental health. We need more strong men, we need more positive masculinity, and I'd love to support that. So I'll be chatting about that probably in a future vlog or so. If you want to support the cause, then I'll leave a link in the top of the description down below, and I'll also be adding to that at the end of the month. So I appreciate your support. Stay strong, stay positive, and apart from that, let's go train and get physically stronger. Right, back again with just an old school commentary video. I kind of wanted to do a couple of these just to reiterate where the upper body training is at and where the lower body training is at. So today we're doing a push session, which I know I've said in the past I don't necessarily agree with push-pull. There's a specific reason with this when it comes to the rehab, but I'm enjoying it, I can't lie.
So kicking off the session, as always, with handstands. That's just how we're going to do this. I'm not going to spend too much time on these because ultimately it's just become into a maintenance phase now. I'm just doing what I need to do. So I'm roughly at the same level of one arm, which is around 4 30-minute sessions a week. In terms of the fun stuff, the strength stuff, and the thing that's going to help the overall goal of mass gain, which is about just doing the work and moving, shifting some tonnage. This is really the first phase where I've actually been back to some decent strength training. I haven't done a handstand push-up in all of about 6 months, so I'm kind of building that back up. And the way I'm doing that is with time-restricted training. So I'm doing basically EMONs, which is a popular CrossFit thing, but actually a very useful training modality for building up work capacity. So I'm doing just 1 rep on the minute, every minute, sometimes a couple of reps. But that's proving challenging enough after not really doing any overhead pressing movement for about 6 months. The same goes for tuck planche, really. That was kind of the movement that actually caused the aggravation in the shoulder when I went heavy into the planche training again. That's when this injury kind of flared up. So I'm tentatively going back into things, just doing some tuck planche holds. Again, like 10-15 seconds is hard for me at the moment with tuck planche. I don't think, because I took that break from making these vlog sort of style of videos, I don't think ever I properly communicated like how much of a knockback this shoulder injury has been in terms of my upper body development. Like I was back to real basics for a long time. So I'm just happy that tuck planche feels all good and I can hold it for like 15 seconds and I'll take that for the moment. We'll get back to straddle eventually, but it's gonna be a long journey. Dips as well. I've only really been doing dips for the past few months. These are the first time that I've done weighted dips. Again, I kind of felt a bit ridiculous using a weight belt for 5 kilos of additional load, but really this is again is kind of building up that tolerance, getting that fear factor that, oh, this is a tentative position for my shoulder to be in because I know there's injuries, I know this has bothered it, and it's building up that confidence to be able to just like lift weight and actually push myself a little bit further. Now, the thing I didn't quite get to film was kind of some of the bodybuilding stuff at the end of this routine, simply because I decided to go to the gym at like 6 p.m, which wasn't the smartest of ideas because it was packed. But I essentially did some chest flies, dumbbell chest flies, nice, simple, standard chest flies. I've actually got a whole video on chest flies for flexibility on this channel. I'm doing those no style, so I'll link that down below. Stretch is actually an important aspect of building hypertrophy. Get kind of the best of both worlds of flexibility and building some gains. And just some tricep extensions. Nice, simple, standard kind of bodybuilding stuff. At the end of the day, it works. That's why they use it. It may not be functional, but when it comes to building muscle, it's probably the most functional thing that you can do. So yeah, that's kind of the upper body training at the moment. It's still pretty heavy on the focus of developing skills and getting better in that regard. That's still absolutely above all else my main focus, but I'm kind of incorporating some other more muscle gain focus to that. And really, I think with just doing the work, that little bit of muscle gain focus, and then just eating a lot of calories, it's going to result in hopefully some good gains, but I guess time will tell. I'm going to finish the video here, but if you do have any questions about this one, or maybe just have some suggestions, like something that I should try and think about, because I'll be honest, like muscle gain I sort of understand the mechanisms and I understand a little bit about the training, but it's not my specialty. I've not spent a lot of time really deep in the world of bodybuilding and gaining mass. So yeah, I'll leave it down to you. Anything you want to say, ask questions or leave suggestions, please do so in the comments section down below. Whilst you're down there, you can also hit that thumbs up button and support the channel. Right next to it is that subscribe button if you want to join the Bodyweight Warrior tribe. Don't miss out on any more future videos. But other than that, I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a strong week and peace.